Welcome back to another video. Today we are making no-sew decorative pillows. I'm going to run by some things that you're going to need first. You are first and foremost going to need some fabric, a fabric pin, either a rotary cutter or some scissors. You are going to need this Fusible Bonding Web. I have the kind for heavy fabrics. And you are going to need a ruler and a fabric measuring tape. Some optional things, I have a cutting mat. You don't absolutely need to have this cutting mat, especially if you're just using scissors. But if you are going to be using a rotary cutter, you will need a fabric mat. You're going to need some type of fill for your pillows. I have right here some polyfill leftover batting from when I was making a quilt. I also have just regular polyfill stuffing. You can also use pillow inserts. You are also going to need an iron for this project. Some water with the iron that has a steam setting. Mine is able to steam. And something to iron on, like a towel and a ironing board, some surface that you can iron your fabrics on. Some other optional things you can have is if you have some type of word decals, like if you have a Cricut machine, you can also cut out different patterns to put on your fabric. But today I'm just using the pattern that comes with the fabric. For my first pillow, I'm going to use this leftover quilting batting. Quilting batting is just like the regular polyfill stuffing, except it's in like sheets. You can just roll it out and lay it in between when you're making quilts. So I'm going to measure the width because I want a long pillow. So I'm going to measure the width of this and about how thick I want this certain pillow. I'm going to go ahead and cut it down to size. And for this, I'm just going to use scissors. All right, so I'm just gonna roll up the rest of this and I'll use that later. Okay, so this is about how big I want my first pillow. I'm gonna measure this from end to end. It's about 20 inches. I'm gonna go 21 because you will need some extra seam allowance. And then from side to side, it's about 9, but I'm gonna go 10. So working with our first fabric, I just have a yard of each of these fabrics. I got them from my local Joann. So I'm going to take this and fold it inside out. Okay, so the first step after measuring, how much, if you're using the batting, after measuring how much of the batting you want to use, your first step, working with your fabric, you're going to take the fabric of your choice and fold the right sides in. The right side just means the side that you want to show on the outside of the pillow. And you're going to leave that folded during the whole project. For this pillow, we are doing 21 inches. And I think the width is exactly 21 inches. Yes, so 21 and a little bit. So we are going to get rid of, the first cutting thing we're going to do is make sure this is a straight line. Okay, so I have my fabric facing me because this is the side I need to cut. So I just turned it around. To get a straight edge right here, you are going to lay your ruler against this folded edge because the folded edge is a guaranteed straight edge. So just gonna line that up. And you can either take your fabric marker and mark the straight line and then cut it with scissors. But I'm just gonna save some time and use this rotary cutter and cut off that and cut that into a straight line. Okay, so I had to pause to change my blade because it was dull. So to recap, we have a folded edge right here. Place the ruler against that folded edge to create a straight edge here, and then we're gonna cut off this extra fabric. Make sure not to move your ruler like I just did, like an amateur. So now we have a straight edge. I'm gonna sit the ruler to the side. And because we are doing 10 inches, we're gonna take our fabric tape. All right, so I'm gonna make a few marks along this way to make sure I have 10 inches going across. I'm gonna put my 10 right here. Take my fabric marker and mark a little line. Okay, so now that we have our markings, we're going to take our big ruler now. You don't have to get this specific big ruler. This came in a bundle, the ruler, the mat, and I want to say the rotary cutter. I'll link it where I got it from off Amazon. So, all right, so we're going to line our ruler up with this straight edge and line it up. It lines up, it meets with all the markings. I'm going to take either your pen and make one straight line and cut it with scissors, or take your rotary cutter and just cut along that line. I'm doing a really horrible job with keeping my hand straight today. Close the blade. Make sure, yep, and we're cut. When you buy fabric, it always has like a raw edge like that. You just want to cut that off. I don't need to get rid of all of it because it's going to be in the seam. I'm just going to get rid of this very little edge piece. Watch your fingers when you're using a rotary cutter. I do want to create two halves right here. So I'm just going to cut off the smallest piece on this side. All right, get rid of that small little bitty sliver. And now we have two pieces, two full pieces. Now it's time for your Fusible Bonding Web. This is kind of like a, it's like a heat, like a tape that you have to activate by heating it up. Okay, so I have to do a voiceover from here on out because the audio is just like trash, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong when it comes to this mic, but it's something about when I have it too close to my ring light. Anyway, what I did was I cut 4 pieces of the binding tape, and I sandwiched it in between the layers, but I left one side out. So there's only 3 on the fabric right now because you're going to need to turn it inside out and stuff it. So once I have all the seams pressed, you have to press it for like 10 seconds on each side, and then let it cool down, flip it out. And once you have your stuffing in there, you're going to push like your stuffing kind of far in there a little bit. I could have pushed it more on, honestly, but you're going to take your last piece and fold the edges inside, and then put that last piece of binding tape in there, and then just press that close. It's a little bit tricky, but you can do it. It's very easy. Just a little tricky to do by yourself. If you got some help, you know, get some help, but you can definitely do it by yourself. But that's the last step. Once you get this last little seam closed up, that is pretty much it. So you're just going to kind of shake your pillow out once you get that last little seam pressed out to even it out, and then I will show you the final product. So here are the finished pillows. Very easy, super quick to do. Thank you guys for the continued support. As of right now, we are only 9 subscribers away from hitting our first mark at 1,000. So if this is your first time watching, go ahead and subscribe if you like what you see and join the family here. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, and until the next time, see ya.